The coxa or hip bones. You are looking at a right coxa or right hip bone. The coxa is made up of three bones. The superior bone is called the ilium. The anterior bone is called the pubis, and the posterior bone is called the ischium. Common landmarks of the hip bone are this big opening here, called the obturator foramen, this C-shaped surface here called the lunate articular surface, this indentation below the lunate articular surface called the acetabular notch, and finally the whole entire socket itself called the acetabulum. The ilium. You are looking at a right hip bone. The ilium is the superior bone of the coxa or hip. Landmarks you have to be able to identify. The first landmark is called the iliac crest. The next landmark is the greater sciatic notch. On the medial side of the ilium, you have this large shallow indentation called the iliac fossa, and on the posterior medial side you have this rough surface called the auricular surface. The ischium. The ischium is the posterior part of the coxa. Landmarks you have to identify on the ischium. The first landmark is this rough surface called the ischial tuberosity. The next landmark is the piece of bone that helps form the obturator foramen. This piece of bone right here is called the ischial ramus. The pubis. The pubis is the anterior portion of the coxa. Landmarks you have to identify on the pubis. The first landmark is at the tip of the pubis, called the pubic symphysis. The second landmark is this piece of bone that helps form the obturator foramen, called the inferior pubic ramus. And the last landmark is this piece of bone that helps form the top part of the obturator foramen, called the superior pubic ramus.